Silver fulfilled its role, and silver came out of India into the world market, collapsing the silver price. This is perversely one of the reasons why I like silver, because so many people who try to understand it don't know very much about the fundamentals. It's difficult to understand supply, it's difficult to understand demand. What isn't difficult to understand is favor. Even the people who like silver are disappointed by the lack of momentum that silver has exhibited over the last 3 or 4 years. Silver is described as the poor man's gold, which is to say, because of its lower unit cost, it's accessible to more people. It's sort of democratized gold. And what that means is that after the primary trend has been established higher in a precious metals bull market, established, by the way, the momentum by gold, the second half of a precious metals bull market is usually dominated by silver. It has more volatility to the upside. Why that is, I'm not exactly sure. I spent 50 years trying to figure it out. I've been a major beneficiary of silver, of the volatility and the cyclicality of silver, and the fact that most people who speculate in silver misunderstand the nature of that market. And understanding a little bit when most people don't understand very much at all is a huge competitive advantage. You go first of all to supply and demand, and both are very tough to understand with regards to silver. Much of the silver that's ever been mined is still supply. We take it out of a hole in the ground called a mine. We put it in a hole in the ground called a vault. So you don't analyze supply the same way that you might oil or copper, which gets used. The other thing about supply that's really interesting is about 18% of primary silver supply comes from silver mines. The rest comes from recycling and as a consequence of byproduct from base metals mines. So to get some sense of what silver supply looks like 5 years from now, you have to have an opinion as to what the copper price is going to be, as an example, right, or what the gold price is going to be. So it's very difficult to understand the supply side. But one of the strangest things about the supply side is that much of the supply is hidden. A whole bunch of people who save their wealth in silver, particularly in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, don't particularly want the government to know about their savings. The consequence of that is that we really don't know how much above ground silver supply there is. If you look at a long-term chart of the silver price, what you see is that it rewards you infrequently, and it rewards you from bases where it has been despised. But when it rewards you extravagantly. And at age 70, well, almost, at age 70, I look forward to one more rip-roaring bull market in silver. I believe that negative real interest rates will cause us to have a rip-roaring gold market. I believe that the momentum will be established by the gold market, and I believe that the logical conclusion about that, based on history, is that towards the middle and end of that bull market, that silver will outperform gold. But the most dramatic response will, of course, be in the silver equities. In order to be a speculator, in order to buy low and sell high, you have to buy assets that are out of favor. And when I look back at history, when I look at where the silver price could go and where the silver equities prices could go, I have to say there's absolutely no premium built into the silver market, which is to say that I get both the narrative and the history for free. People are excited in the last 2 weeks because the silver price is up $2. $2. If you look back at a history of the silver price going back to 1970, you'll see that $2 is an irrelevancy. The silver price can gain or lose $2 in a week simply by inhaling and exhaling. Fast forward to the next silver market that I enjoyed with Quartermain and Beatty and all my sort of compatriots. The silver price had fallen to, I think it was $4. And it went from $4 to $50. Not as dramatic a bull market as the first one, but plenty good enough for me, thank you. The population of silver equities, including the pretenders even, the guys that have silver as a component in the name of a share certificate, but inconveniently don't have any silver. The market capitalization, the combined market capitalization of all the silver companies in the world is infinitesimal, even compared to the gold market. But my friend Doug Casey points out, when the generalist investor gets attracted to the silver narrative, happened 4 times in my life, the amount of money that flows into the silver equity can't be contained by the market caps. They go crazy. My first bull market, the 1970s bull market, little tiny penny dreadful from Spokane called Coeur d'Alene Mines, went from 10 cents to $65. Not a typo. Sadly, I was too young and dumb to own it. The next time through, however, 2 that come especially to mind because I was involved in them. Silver Standard went from 72 cents to $45. Pan American from 50 cents to something over $40. The
Yes.
response that you get from an intelligently run but relatively unknown silver company in a silver bull market is absolutely astonishing. Now, this isn't something that somebody wants to put their child's college tuition fund in. This is for the part of your portfolio where you're looking for truly outsized risks and truly outsized rewards. I happen to believe that because of the entry point right now, that the risks are, at least in a historical context, minimized. And the time that one needs to wait to be rewarded is probably short too. But nobody should be listening to this if they're afraid of volatility, because the lessons of the Ross Beatties and the Bob Quartermains and the Randy Smallwoods, who built multi-billion-dollar silver companies, are instructive for people to understand when they think about how to invest in silver companies today. These living legends will tell you how the lessons that they learned building companies impact their actions as individual investors today. And believe me, you need to learn from them.